What is up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingNews.com and welcome back to another one of our previews. Well, let's go to Aqueduct Saturday, December 7th. There'll be race 9 on the card, feature race of the weekend, the Grade 2 Cigar Mile. Going, of course, 1 mile, $500,000. The purse, field of 11 sets up for this one. Really, really good race. Really, really tough race to handicap as well. Put it up on the screen here for you. Always one of the fun races to kind of round out the year here, the Cigar Mile, and then, of course, the Malibu coming up just a little bit later. Let's go through the field of 11, give you the winner, or at least what we hope will be the winner. Let's start with the number 1, Bookham Dano, who is a 3-year-old getting ready to step up and take on older horses for this one. He's had a hell of a year. There's no question about it. It started with a huge, breakout win at Tampa Bay, went on and got second in the Saudi Derby to Forever Young, just beaten ahead, won the Woody Stevens, won a stakes race at Monmouth, third in the Jerkins, and then last time out second by a neck in the Perryville right there at Keeneland. Can we step up and face older horses? Can we step up and face better horses? That's going to be the big question. Now, you might think, well, hold on, Forever Young, that's a pretty good horse. No doubt it is. But that was kind of a race where Forever Young didn't really run all that well. I didn't feel like, didn't really love the track, the conditions, the distance, anything like that. The races here in the United States, beat Prince of Monaco. That's okay. That's a pretty good win. Little knee. Okay. Lost the domestic product in Prince of Monaco in the next start. All right. I mean, these are good horses, but they're not like top level. And I think we're getting some decent ones in here. So I just kind of question. I don't know if this is going to be the perfect race for him or not. Stretching back out to a mile, I don't think that's a big problem for him. But still, I don't know. I've got some question marks here, especially what I think will be a little bit of a short price. Maybe he's one that we can beat. The number 2 is Nelson Avenue. This is a horse that had won 2 races in a row against lesser company before stepping up to the grade 3 49er last time out, where he was second, beating a length to Coastal Mission, who's also in this race. Good horse. I'm just not sure this is the right spot for him, but he's pretty solid. So, we'll kind of take him for what he is at this point. I don't know that he can jump up and win a race like this one, though. That's kind of my big worry with him. The number 3 is Repo Rocks, and this is a horse that has proven in the past that he can jump up and win grade 2, grade 3 type events, hit the board in a grade 1, that kind of stuff. Lately, we haven't seen the best from him. He had a long layoff. He came back in May. He didn't do much running for really 3-4 races. Finally got back to the winner's circle at Colonial in a Virginia bred race, an allowance race there. That projected him back up into stakes company. He was second last time out at Parks in an ungraded stakes, and then he was fourth, in the grade 3 49er last time out. So his best days, he can win a race like this. I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think we have seen that for a while with him. Not a lot of interest in the first 3 horses, to be honest, that we're talking about. The number 4 is Vinsanity, another one I don't have a lot of interest in. I swear there's good horses coming. But this one, look, won a claiming race last time out, going 1 mile, but it was a $25,000 claimer. Stepped up to a starter allowance company, I should say, last time out. Just didn't do a lot in that. Got 9th, beaten 8. I don't think he's great. Number 1 through 4, I do respect Bookham Dano, but the 2, the 3, and the 4, just don't think can win a race at this level. And then the 1, Bookham Nano, just a shorter price I kind of want to play against. One horse I don't want to play against is the number 5, Mulligan. I really like this one in this spot here. Stretching out to a mile for the first time, but has been successful at 7 furlongs, so I think we'll be okay at a 1-turn mile. The 4 2 races back was electric, an incredible race there, just a dominant performance. The John A. Newer 3 races back, another nice victory right here at this track. Won an allowance 4 races back at Churchill Downs and an allowance at Keeneland 5 races back. This horse had a long layoff of 271 days, and since that has come back to win 4 or 5. The only loss was at 6 furlongs at the Breeders' Cup in the Breeders' Cup Sprint. Look, it's a race he ran very well in. He got third, beaten 3 lengths. He didn't kind of get the trip that he kind of probably wants or is used to. He got a little bit further behind. He still made a little bit of a run. He just got beat by Straight No Chaser and Bertinato, horses that, I think with a little bit better trip, he could have been right there with him, maybe beat him, but he didn't get it. So it is what it is, right? But I think he's really good. I do think a mile is going to be fine for him. Like I said, if you handle 7 furlongs, you usually handle a 1-turn mile pretty well. I think the number 5 Mulligan will be tough. The number 6 is Law Professor, a horse that I've backed on and off again throughout his career. He's kind of been everywhere as far as what barn he's been in lately. He's back with Rob Atras in this spot. Rob's gotten the most out of him, that's for sure. And including last time out, winning at a mile and an eighth. Cutting back to a mile here, though, and I think that's kind of, at times where we've seen him at his best. The race 3 back and allowance right here at Aqueduct going a mile. I thought he was really good. He had fallen off form a little bit before his last 3 or 4 races. So I think he's back in pretty good form. I think he'll be, decently tough in here. He's a logical horse. Hopefully you get a little bit of a price. That's going to be the big thing with him. I think in this field, he needs to be around that 8-1 before you really get interested. Speaking of interesting horses, the number 7 Locked is extremely interesting in this race. If you don't remember him, he won the Breeders' Futurity as a 2-year-old. He also broke his maiden in impressive style as a 2-year-old at Saratoga as well. Went and ran in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, got third, beaten 6 3/4. Of course, Fierceness won that day. You never saw him, getting beat, but this horse almost beat Muth for second. He got behind and he just couldn't quite catch him. Tried to get him on the Kentucky Derby trail a couple times, planned races, and then they wouldn't enter, and then they finally entered, and then he had to scratch. Long story short, almost a year since we've seen him, or since we saw him, and then he ran October 19th at Aqueduct in a 7-furlong allowance race. He won by 7.5. On paper, it looked like if he was the horse we thought he would win by that kind of margin, and he did. Second off the layoff, Cigar Mile, stretching out to a mile. That's not going to be a problem. This horse was really good in his only race at a mile. And again, at 7 furlongs, he was really good. It's just going to be, what kind of price is he going to be? Do you want to take him second off the layoff? First race against older horses. Well, second race, I should say. The last race was, but first race in a stakes race against older horses. How short is he going to be? He is pretty darn good. I think from a talent standpoint and from a potential standpoint, he probably is the one you want out of this race, assuming he can stay healthy. I think, he came into this year and we kind of thought this is probably going to be a top 5 type Derby contender. And they just never could get him healthy. I'm assuming he's healthy and doing well now. They kind of spaced his races out 49 days, but it kind of feels like this horse is going to be one, if he stays healthy, he's going to be tough. So it's just how short is he going to be? That's going to be the question on if I play him to win or not. The number 8, as we go down the list here, is Pipeline. This is a horse that last time out was able to finally get back to the winner's circle. I shouldn't say finally, but it seems like he's either all or nothing. So he won an allowance going a mile and 16th. He did win 4 races back, an allowance at Keeneland going a mile and 16th. But when he doesn't win, he's nowhere to be found. And I think that's kind of, you kind of forget about him, because he'll run so many efforts in a row where he just doesn't look very good. I think he plays a big part in the pace here. I still don't trust him fully to get up and actually win in this spot. So I'm going to look at others, but he will play a big part in the pace. The number 9 is Senor Buscador, finished second in this race last year. He ran a winning race last year, and he just got beat by a runaway winner in Hoist the Gold, who really never replicated that again, at least to that level. So kind of got a bad luck last year in this race. He's kind of that horse that, like, man, he ran good. He just couldn't get the job done. Other than when he went over and won the Saudi Cup. That was a huge race for him. So this year's been good. Second, only beating a neck to National Treasure in the Pegasus World Cup. Won the Saudi Cup. Third in the Dubai World Cup. Problem is, he has not been good since coming back from those overseas races. Pat O'Brien, obviously not a race that was really meant for him. He didn't, he got 4th, beaten 6 3/4, not bad. Didn't run a step in the California Crown. And I thought was okay in the Breeders' Cup. You go back and watch him. His classic this year and his classic last year, pretty much the same type of race. He just gets too far back and, made his one run, passed some tired horses, but couldn't get all the way up. Got 5th this year in that one. So can he get all the way up and win this year in a race like this? I just think he might be a second or third type of horse. Price is going to, again, we don't have the odds yet, so price is going to dictate how strongly you might want to play him. If you can get a little bit of a number on him, he might be worth a little bit of a shot. He was 7-2 last year in this race. I think he'll be something similar this year. I just don't know if it's enough. I mean, he's got a shot, no doubt, but I just don't know if he's quite good enough to get up at a mile or not. All right, the number 10 is Coastal Mission. This is a horse coming off. We mentioned him. He's coming off back-to-back wins. He beat Repo Rocks 2 races back at Parks. And then he beat Nelson Avenue last time out in the 49er right here. So he kind of won the quote unquote local prep race for this one in the 49er. And so look, he's won 2 in a row. I don't know if he's quite good enough. I don't love this post position draw for him either, but I will say, he ran second to Mulligan 4 races back. So I think he's pretty damn good. But I just don't, is he good enough to win this type of race? That's the big question mark, especially from this post. And speaking of post positions, post time, Drew post 11, not great for him. He's another one. He ran really well at the Breeders' Cup. He got second, only beaten a length and a half, got beat by Full Serrano in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, beat Domestic Product. It's a horse that at times has just showed up and been, not really at times, every time has shown up and ran well. He was kind of the Laurel darling. He was rattling off wins, then won the Carter. And then, second in the Westchester, second in the Met Mile, third in the Whitney. I mean, these are good races before returning to Laurel and dominating. So he's been up against some good ones. He's in here with a big shot. I think he'll show up and run really well. Don't love the post position. Wish he had a little bit better draw. But look, you kind of look at his form. He always shows up with a big race. I think he can show up and win this if he can work out the trip. Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, like I said, that trip did not work out. He was way behind. He had come from way out of it and was just too little, too late. But big time excuse for him in that one. All right. I'm not going to get real fancy here. I like the 5 Mulligan, the 7 Locked, and the 11 post time. I think those are the 3 that are really going to stand out. I put the number 5 Mulligan on top. I just feel like the 1-turn mile is going to be great for him. I like post time, but I think Mulligan at his best is just a little bit better. I'm still a little bit not questionable about Locked, but do I want to take a really short price on Locked when I've got these runners that are really experienced in stakes company against older horses? I don't know, but I do, 5, 7, 11, any of those 3 win. I'm not going to be surprised, but I'm going to go number 5 Mulligan on top. All right, that'll do it for our preview of the Cigar Mile Stakes live, or handicap, I should say, live from Aqueduct here on Saturday, December 7th. Thanks everybody for watching this video. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit subscribe if you really like it. You want to get alerted anytime we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're playing Aqueduct on Saturday.